What is going on, everybody? Today we are going over Carnival Cruise Analysis, ticker symbol CCL. Current price is around $20, $20.84. Gonna find three things in this video. Number one, gonna see what the analysts that are covering Carnival Cruise have to say about the stock. Is it a buy, sell, or a hold? Number two, we're gonna go over financial statements for beginners, so you can read financial statement of Carnival Cruise Stock to understand exactly what's going on. And number three, we're gonna go over the insiders, the people, CEO, CFO, all those good stuff, and to see if they are buying or selling Carnival Cruise. So at the end of this video, you will have a picture. It's a better picture if Carnival Cruise stock is cheap, or could it get cheaper, when to buy, and basically get a better time frame, get a better understanding of what is going on. With that being said, let's get started with Carnival Cruise stock. Let's go. Right here, EPS, earning per share, average. I'm gonna go over the average. Looking for next year, we got a negative number of $3.67. That means, in simple words, it's not rocket science, that if the price today is, let's say, 21 bucks, that at the end of 2021 it will be $3.67 less. $3.67 less, meaning they're expecting, the analysts that are covering Carnival Cruise stock, that it will be around $17 by the end of next year. Stock is at 17 bucks. Should you buy now at 20? And you think it's gonna go back to $50 all-time high about a year ago? Okay, but the analysts that are knowing Carnival Cruise a lot better than you and me are telling me that the stock should lose $3.67 per share that you hold by the end of next year. Do with this information as you will. Let's move on. And if I scroll all the way down to here, growth estimate, focusing on this number, next 5 year per annual, negative 39.24%, 40% negative growth in the next 5 years. So they're gonna lose almost $4 per share and 40% negative growth for the next 5 years per annual. So every year they're gonna lose about 40% of their growth. Do you think it's a good sign? No. Do you think cruise lines are cheap? Okay. Do you think buying now is the best time? Okay, that's on you. I'm just showing you that yes, math, if you do math, negative is positive, but here negative earning per share, $4, almost a negative 40% growth, is a negative share price for the next 5 years at the end of the day. Then your money is better suited, in my opinion alone. I haven't even done finance analyst at all, but in my opinion, that money is suitable other places, other stocks, not a financial advice. Let's move on. Look here, analyst price target. So 13 people are covering Carnival Cruise. 13 analysts that know the company a lot better than you and me. They give the price target of $18.15, and we are at almost 21. It's almost 15% down from where we are, just to reach the average target of the analyst, 18. So if you think $20 is cheap, well, the analysts think that 18 is where it should trade. The low estimate is 10 bucks and the high estimate is 25. All-time high was around a year ago, 51, something like that. So I think one person says max price by next year will be 25 or 10, and most of them say it should trade around 18. It's now 21. You do with this information as you will. Let's move on. And while I see one upgrade, which is a good sign, from Barclays, this was in September. This is September 25th. I would like to see something more current. I'll link at the end of this video United Airlines Delta analysis, where I talk about the upgrades and downgrades. They got a whole bunch of downgrades in December, like 2-3 downgrades each in December. So while this is a good news to get an upgrade, that's never a bad news, it is a good news, This happened 3 months ago, and a lot have changed since then, and you don't really know what's going on with cruises, with people. Are they gonna go on cruise? In my opinion, people will go on an airplane before they will go on a cruise. Other than that, we got maintain underweight, that's not a good sign. Downgrade, maintain neutral, downgrade, another downgrade, all in June, July, and August. So one upgrade in September. If I see more upgrades, let's say next month, January, and so on, I'll be, a little better. But from all I've seen so far, 21 bucks per share is a little high, and it should go at least to 18 to just maybe put it on my watch list. Just my opinion. Let's go over some financial statements, see what we see. So in the financial statement, I'm in here, income statement. Let's go over real quick. I don't care about 5 years ago. All I care about is this one, trailing 12 months. What happened during Corona? And you can see in 2019, the year ended November, that's when the year ended for them, $20 billion positive total revenue. With the first line, total revenue 20 billion. And since then, 12 months later, total revenue went down to 10. So the revenue cut in half, 50%. And they lost $10 billion of revenue. That's harsh. And if you scroll to the net, let's see here, diluted net income, okay? They went from $3 billion net, so they make, that's bad number. So they make, look at this, 20 billion total revenue, but the net from that is 3 billion. So that's about, 15%, that's not that bad. Warren Buffett like 20% net, so they got about 14-15. That's good compared to a cruise line. But they went diluted net income, they went from $3 billion positive to negative $7.5 billion. So they lost $10.5 billion in the last 12 months. That's insane amount of money to lose. Basically their entire revenue, they made, look at it, they made $10.5 billion revenue, and they lost 3 million plus 7.5. They lost 10.5 billion. So they just lost everything that they made in last year. It's just horrible. Well, I don't own a Carnival Cruise, but that's a horrible number. That's a horrible number, and someone is going to pay for that. Most likely the consumer that buy Carnival Cruise Carnival Cruises, and the stockholder. But we're gonna touch that in the next item, which is the cash flow. So let's go. So I'm right here in the cash flow statement, and something very bad that caught my eye is this one: issuance of debt, taking a loan. Look at this giant number, $13.4 billion loan. $13.4 billion loan. They did a repay of a loan of about $2 billion, and they did like $50 million buyback. So they have like, I don't know, $11 billion spare. And with that $11 billion spare, they still managed to end the last 12 months with a negative $7.5 billion. That's massive, massive. Why this number is very bad, taking a loan of $13.5 billion. I'll tell you why. If you look a year before that, they took $3.6 billion and they pay off $1.6 billion, so they had extra $2 billion, which they paid right here, repayment of debt. I assume that's the loan. $2 billion they paid off, and they took a fresh new loan, $13.5 billion. What does it mean? First of all, that means that someone needs to pay for that loan. That's number one. How do people going to pay for that loan? Couple of options. Number one, the owners of Carnival Cruise, the founders, whoever made Carnival Cruise a company in the past, assuming they haven't sold it, whoever owns Carnival Cruise today will have to reach out of pocket and pay that loan until the things gets better in 2-3 years. Well, this scenario, in my opinion, is super unlikely that the owners of a company will bring money out of pocket. Unlikely at all. It's a possibility, but a very small I would give it, I don't know, less than 5% chance that the owners will bail out Carnival Cruise. From my understanding, cruise lines do not get the US government bailout I don't think they get the US government bailout because their headquarters is in Bermuda or something. So that's why I think, just an FYI, that airline stocks will recover much better than cruise line stocks, even though everyone on YouTube, TikTok will tell you, hey, go buy airlines and cruise stocks, they're all cheap. Sure, but that's not really an argument. You need to look at an industry in specific, and inside each industry, which stocks could make the most benefit. So if I see a company that doesn't get the government bailout and takes a $13 billion loan, either the owners will pay or most likely the consumer will pay. So if you take a cruise with Carnival, you will either pay more for the cruise ticket, or if not, and you will also get less service, not good service, less service. Let's say you got 100 people working on one deck and servicing one per 3 people or something like that. You're gonna get down to like 80 people per deck. They're gonna fire people. They're gonna give you, I don't know, in my opinion, instead of all day long food, maybe just breakfast for free and you will pay for dinner. Maybe the pool will be open just 4 hours a day to save on water, electric bill, whatever the case. Less people for entertainment, more pay-per-view, more whatever the case, this loan will have to be paid. The $13 billion loan will have to be paid. It's not gonna get disappeared, and most likely it will not get paid by the owners of Carnival Cruise. And at the end of the day, who will get hurt most is the shareholders of Carnival Cruise, because this $13 billion loan will cripple and hurt the stock price long term until this get down to, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 billion dollar. Someone needs to deal with a $10 billion extra loan on their balance sheet, and until that happens, this is not a good long-term play, at least not now, in my opinion. Just my opinion alone. Let's see what the insiders are doing. Are they buying or are they selling? Let's go. Before we go over what the insiders are doing, guys, good time to introduce myself. My name is Zip, also known as Finance After 40. While I am new to YouTube, I have about 18,000 plus community members following me on TikTok, as well as Patreon members, about 150 of those, where we sell options for income using market Chameleon. All good stuff that you can find in the description below. If I bring you any sort of value, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification so you'll see when I release videos, and comment below which stock would you like me to do next. I have a whole bunch of lists, and hopefully by the end of this year Tesla will get an evaluation by me, not by people who are saying Tesla will go to the moon. Already have let's see the actual value according to Warren Buffett and the Excel and the Benjamin Graham, the intelligent investor. So without further ado, let's move on and see Carnival Cruise insiders are buying or selling. Let's go. So there's a bunch of stuff in here: sell, sell, buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. Two things that caught my eyes, guys. Two things that I'm gonna go over with you. In here, November 30, almost about a month ago, Mr. Mickey Arison, I think he's the owner of Carnival Cruise, if I'm not mistaken, owner of 10% or more, okay? Owner of 10% or more, Mr. Mickey Arison, sell for the price of $20.58, 5 million shares, okay, for a total of $103 million. So Mickey Arison, one of the owners of holding 10% or more, sold for $20, where we are now, 58 cents, over $100 million cash and 5 million shares. Okay, let that sink in. If you think a person that owns more than 10% of the company sells for $20, liquidate $100 million of his money, you think he thinks it's going to the moon next year? Okay, you can think that, and then people will tell you whatever that you want to hear and believe because it gets you views and likes. I follow the finance and I follow the insiders. If someone is selling $100 million worth of Carnival Cruise for 20 bucks. I'm not buying Carnival Cruise for 20 bucks either. That's one thing negative. Not completely positive, but still positive. Look at this. April 6th, that was when the buy occurred. April 6th, just like buy the dip. Mr. Randall Weisenberg, director, purchased, look at this price, $8. Okay, $8. He bought 1.25 million shares for a total of $10 million cash. So Mr. Randall Weisenberg bought $10 million cash around April after the crash at the price of $8. So if Mr. Mickey Harrison is selling for 20 bucks and Mr. Randall Weisenberg is buying at $8 and we are now at around 20 bucks, here's my price. If Carnival Cruise goes down to $8 again, hopefully in 2021, I will check their financials again. But if it's good enough for this Mr. Weisenberg to invest $10 million of his own money, it's good enough for me to throw a couple of $1,000 on Carnival Cruise and hope for it to go to the moon. I will be a much better buyer at $8 instead of 20, which is 60% down from here. If you're thinking about buying Carnival Cruise because people told you it's cheap, look at Mr. Mickey Harrison. He sold $100 million for a price of $20.58. Do with this information as you wish. Not a financial advice, my opinion only. And if I bring you guys any sort of value, just a hint of value, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, leave a comment which stock would you like me to do next. Appreciate you all. We passed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much for that, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Yeah.